Okay, very sorry for that inconvenience and very good evening and very warm welcome to JVS IAS. See, this is indeed paper 1, Anthropology paper 1 analysis. Paper 2 is scheduled at 7:30 p.m. Okay, Priya? So paper 1, we are going to look at paper 1. Paper 2, we will be looking at 7:30 p.m. All right. So now, can you give me confirmation regarding the audio? Is everything smooth now? Okay, thank you very much, Rimisha. Let us begin. See here, what I'm going to discuss is we will look at the questions from which portions they have been asked, what is the difficulty of this anthropology paper, and relatively compared to last year, what kind of questions have come. So that is what we are going to look at here. Okay. And the model answers, how to approach them. So for them, I'll be making a series of videos for the same. Okay. So let us begin. Very good evening, Gaurav. So shall we begin? See, with respect to the structure of the question paper, this year also it remains same. We have two sections here, okay, where just a second, okay, where we have section 1. So both sections comprises of section A and section B. Both of them comprises of 4 questions each. So each question carries 50 marks. So altogether you have a paper for 8 into 50 marks. That is how many? 400 marks. Out of which we need to write 5 questions. So which comprises of 250 marks. So the rules are again same from section A and section B. Section A question number 1 and section B question number 5. Both of them are compulsory questions and we have to attempt them. And in them, brief answer questions or short answer questions are there, where you will be given 5 short questions on which you have to write a brief note in 150 words, 10 marks each. So let us begin with that question number 1 from section A and let us try to understand it. So the first one is animism and deep ecology. See here, it is from the concept of religion. Here we have different types of early religion forms, animism, totemism. So here how they have developed, and here look at this. There is a link. They're asking what link it has with the deep ecology. So first of all, what is the meaning of deep ecology? It means, see, it is environmental centric view where in the study of ecology where all the living organisms including plants, animals, microorganism, all of them are given due respect and their equal rights, and conservation of ecology, conservation of such bioorganisms. So that is given more emphasis here. Now, how we are going to link animism with the deep ecology? If you look at this, the early form of religion where people started worshipping different animals, different plants, and different parts of the nature. So they started having a strong link with the nature. So thereby they were duly respecting the nature and conserving the nature. So that is where you have to link both of them. You can provide good examples and case studies here. And with that, case studies, and with that, you can link the concept of animism and deep ecology. You can approach with simple definitions for both animism and deep ecology. Then you can look at the link. क्योंकि यहाँ पर जो भी beliefs है, they are strongly linked with the nature, so thereby they start conserving the nature. Okay, so that is how it is linked. So it is for 10 marks. So for the same question, I'll be coming up with all of these questions. I'll be coming up with model answers, okay, handwritten model answers. So that can be useful for you, like a blueprint for developing a very good answers, and you can enrich your content. So here the series will come, day by day. So please tune for that series, and it will be a playlist. Okay, so that is first question. Second question is pretty much स्ट्राइट फॉरवर्ड. यहाँ पर फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन में थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजन या थोड़ा सा एम्बिग्यूटी लग सकता है बिकॉज ऑफ दिस वर्ड डीप इक्वालिटी. सिंपल, इट्स ए सिंपल वन. Definitely, Iravin Singh, definitely there will be model answers. Okay, Gaurav. Gaurav, let us restrict our queries to anthropology here. Then we will discuss about the rest of the things in the general discussions of mains papers. Is that okay? So let us continue. Then you have question number B. Question number B is 1B. It is related to marriage regulations and alliance theory. So here you can talk about alliance theory given by Levi-Strauss, and then how this alliance theory and marriage regulations are linked with each other. So directly from your marriage and kinship concept. So यहाँ पर there is good intermixing of the concepts. Even you can link animism, deep ecology with your paper 2's concept of man, spirit and nature complex. वहाँ का कुछ पॉइंट्स जो हैं यहाँ पर लिंक करके you can enrich the content in this particular answer. Okay, so this is marriage and kinship. Then the third question is historical particularism, which is given by Franz Bowers. So this question is pretty much straightforward, and it is from anthropological theories. Anthropological theories, that is your paper 1 unit 6. All right, then question number 1 part D. See, look at this. The biocultural approaches is the hallmark of biological anthropology. Explain. See, this is a straightforward question. If you look at it, many questions this year which have appeared, they are either reflected in the earlier previous year questions. That is the reason why previous year questions are very important when it comes to optional. Particularly anthropology, there is good number of questions which are going to repeat in the examination. This has been asked again and again, the biocultural approaches in the biological anthropology. So which is a direct question. You can write it from 1.4 human evolution and biocultural aspects in the evolution, and how this is a part of biological anthropology. See, here also there is a very good mixing, very good integration of the topics, like 1.3 which we talk major branches of anthropology. So there physical anthropology or biological anthropology is one of the major branches. So how this is linked with the biocultural approach. Okay, see here biocultural factors in the evolution of the man you have studied in 1.4. So once again there is integration of these two topics and the question has been framed. This is one thing that we are getting constantly in the UPSC examination. Okay, here Rimisha is asking, sir, did we need to give a difference and similarities for both? Is it for, are you asking for here like question number 40? Rimi, can you confirm? So if it is here, you simply have to like justify or explain how the biocultural approaches have become the hallmark of biological anthropology. How different approaches like biologically, culturally, you are looking at different aspects of the human evolution. From there, you are trying to understand. If you talk about primatology, so there primate behavior we look at as well as primate anatomy. If you look at it, wherever we are taking this biological anthropology, look at all the branches of biological anthropology, sub branches of it. Let's take primatology. वहाँ पर you look at primate anatomy, like what are the anatomical structures and how they are similar, how they are different from the humans. Similarly, we look at primate behavior as well. What kind of behavior they have? Do they make the tools? So these kind of things, both aspects, biological aspect and cultural aspect, we do check it here. If it is for, yeah, you can link it like marriage regulations and see alliance theory. I'll discuss the contents of it. यहाँ पर ये क्या कहता है, why these alliances like through the marriage are formed, and for that what kind of regulations are there. Sometimes there are like preferential rules, sometimes there are prohibitory rules like incest taboo, you know that, like it is a prohibitory one. Similarly, we have preferential ones where cross cousin marriages are preferred, or it may be exogamy or it may be endogamy. Different kind of things are being, no things are being taken for bringing or for making these alliances. So वो वाला चीज को लेकर यहाँ पर आप अप्रोच करना होगा, right? Then see question number E of first question. This is again very much pretty direct question. The question is from your 1.8, where we look at relative dating and absolute dating methodologies, under which you study thermoluminescence dating. So it is simply by looking at the amount of heat or amount of light that is trapped. See, whenever, according to this, if there is an object on this, there is a radiation. As a result of it, it releases some of the electrons in it, and all these electrons are trapped within it. Now, when this object is heated, so those electrons are released, and after a long period of time, when this object is reheated, once again those electrons are going to be released. Now depending upon the number of electrons that are released, we can calculate how long this object has been there, what is the age of this object. So that is the technique of thermoluminescence. Okay, so on the basis of it, the short note has to be written. So look at it, all these questions except one question, that is like deep ecology, which seems new at the in the first instance, but rest of all the questions, they are very much no straightforward, so there is no problem in attempting them. All right, so from this you can say all of these questions, like last year if you see 2020, there were many unconventional questions which are there for the first time in the compulsory section, but this time compulsory section, it is relatively, you can say, easy to moderate range. Okay, you can approach all of these questions. It only matters, the score will only matter depending upon your content, how good you have presented it. All right, very good. Let us go to the question number 2. See question number 2, it has again from question number 2, 3, 4 and 6, 7, 8, they have again uniform structure where one question for 20 marks and two questions for 15 marks are there. So total 50 marks of each of these questions. So let us look at part A of question number 2. What are physical and cultural characteristics of Homo erectus? Discuss its phylogenetic status. So the question is direct from the paleoanthropology, that is the early humans. So here this time what has been asked, Homo erectus. You can talk about all types of Homo erectus persons, okay, ranging from your African persons, and then the erectus species that we have found in Java, Pekin or Narmada. So you can talk about all of them and their physical characteristics and cultural characteristics. That is what we have to write it here. Then what is their phylogenetic position, phylogenetic status, that needs to be written. That's it. It's a straightforward question, so there is no confusion here, and this is asked in previous years also. So that is the reason why you can depend upon previous year questions to know the structure of the question as well as from which section questions are being asked by the UPSC. All right, now comes question number B. See, this is a direct question, that's why I'm not discussing much about it. The model answer will be provided in the coming discussions. All right, then question number B, elucidate the concept of thick description of Clifford gauge with suitable examples. So this is a kind of, you can say, new dimensional question. However, the question can be linked to your anthropological theories, under which you have symbolic interpretative theories, which are given by like Gage and other persons. So in which Gage का जो field work tradition है, इनका study है, इस basis पे continuous questions are coming. Okay, and here you need to understand what is the meaning of thick description. It means whenever some person is doing some activity, the actor, so whatever the action that a person is doing, from that person's perspective, there is a description. How that person describes that act, that matters. See, as a outsider, if you look at that act, you may perceive, you may provide the description which may not be in line with the actor's description. So this is your description, but if you accurately take the description of the actor who is performing the act, that will help you to understand much more the all dimensions of that particular action. So that kind of description is called thick description. All right, so here this is where like you can give the examples also. Let me give the example of, suppose say in cricket we have different shots. Let's say there is helicopter shot, or let's say okay, helicopter shot. Okay, so MS Dhoni is very famous for this particular shot. Okay, MS Dhoni. Okay, now okay, the fans, I don't want to hurt the fans by writing a wrong spelling. So MS Dhoni, he is very much known for helicopter shot. Now if other persons like who are not playing that shot, if they describe it, of course they can describe it, this is how it is played. But if you look, if you learn, or if you know, if you hear the description from the actor, that the person who is executing that shot, if you see, he can accurately tell you what should be the your feet movement, what should be the angle with which you have to hit the ball, and on which ball you can play such helicopter shot. All those things will be described by him in a better manner. Such a description is called thick description. On that, Clifford Gage has done a research. All right. So on this also, I'll provide a model answer. Will that be okay? Good. The question is very good one, and it is like you can say a new dimensional question, not been asked earlier. Okay. Now going to the next question. Question number, part number 3 in question number 2. Describe the features of early farming cultures and Neolithic of Northeast. Simple. See here, this is sorry, Near East. I'm sorry, Near East. See, this is the specific question. Specific with respect to the time scale, you have to look at early farming cultures and Neolithic cultures of Near East. Okay, these two, like Chira and other regions in Assam. Okay, these regions and what kind of characteristics were there, that has to be written. So it's a specific question, and writing general answer will not give you the good marks. So that is where your content gathering for these particular specific questions is going to be tricky, and presenting it in a well manner, that is going to ensure or that is going to impact your marks. Okay, so on a whole, if you look at this question is a direct one, so which is from your like 1.5 1.6 section. Then this particular question, this is anthropological theories and the work done by some of the scholars like Clifford Geach. Geach के बारे में बहुत बार questions आ रहे हैं frequently. You have to look at all aspects of like all the case studies and ethnographic studies that are done by Clifford Geach. ठीक है, इनके ऊपर काफी questions आ रहे हैं बार बार. Then this question is also very specific one. This question is also very specific one. Okay, now look at this. I would recommend don't go with this question unless you are very much confident about this and this. Both of them are specific. Unless you have very solid content here and very much your memory with respect to those content and examples are good, don't go with this. Otherwise the question is good. But another advantage of going with this question is many people may not select this question, and if you write it even like average answer or just above the average answer, your scoring can be very good here. Okay, so that is the advantage and disadvantage. Okay, So that is all about question number 2. So shall we go to question number 3? See question number 3. Here, first part. Once again 20, 15, 15 structure. Again, same structure is there. Question number 3 का part ये देख लीजिए. How do political organizations of simple societies, that is the primitive societies, establish power, authority and legitimacy? Direct question from your chapter political organization. Political organization and social control. So from there the question is directly asked. So here once again the answer has to be very rich with respect to the case studies and the contemporary examples, particularly with respect to these simple and primitive societies. All right, so the question is very much straightforward, and you can see the same kind of question in the previous year questions as well. Then part B, explain the genetic mechanisms of micro and macro evolution. So do we have Upinder Jeet Kaur and Sonia Priyadarshani or any other offline students who are attending classes? Ayush has asked this question. See, one of our offline student, he has asked, sir, what is this micro and macro evolution? Then I have explained all the dimensions and the importance of this genetic mechanism. Micro is like within the species, if any part of the body is see, first of all, here you can approach with what is the evolution meaning. Then after writing evolution, you can provide if these changes, gradual changes are happening in some part of a species which is leading to subspeciation, forming of some other subspecies. Such a evolution we call it as microevolution. And similarly, if such change or evolution happens at the order, like you have like primate and non-primates, okay, both of them are different. If you look at the evolutionary trends of them, they are different. So if it happens at a higher stage, like either it may be genus or it may be order, it may be phylum, under such higher orders, if such evolution or if such changes happens, that we call it as macro evolution. So here you just have to provide the genetic mechanism for micro as well as macro. Okay, you can talk about like micro. Within this micro, you can say, let us take one genus like humans, Homo genus, and within that, what are the micro changes that have happened which has led to some speciation, like different types of homogeneous species. Similarly, macro के लिए you can talk about different orders like primates and non-primates. उसमें भी देखो hominoids है, hominids है. वहाँ पर if you look at the gradual changes, they are different. ठीक है, macro level पे. So वो वाला example देकर you can approach this particular question. Is that clear? Then question number C. Discuss the salient features of different traditions of European Mesolithic culture. See, once again, it is a specific question. You have to look at the Mesolithic period. Okay. See, under 1.8 section B, we look at different cultures ranging from your Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, Chalcolithic, ऐसे डिफरेंट कल्चर्स, ब्रॉन्ज एज वगैरह देखते हैं. एंड अगेन अगर आपका पेपर 2 में देखेंगे देन कल्चरल एवोल्यूशन में भी ये सारे स्टेजेस देखेंगे हम. सो दोनों को इंटीग्रेट करके भी लिख सकते हो, बट यहाँ पर देखो इट इज स्पेसिफिकली आस्किंग अबाउट यूरोपियन मीसोलिथिक. सो आपका कंटेंट गैदरिंग जो है इट हैज टू बी स्पेसिफिक टू यूरोपियन रीजन, देन यू कैन प्रोवाइड द वेरी गुड आंसर हियर. सो दिस क्वेश्चन बिकॉज ऑफ द स्पेसिफिक रीजन ऑफ Mesolithic region of Europe, this question becomes a little difficult. Like, so the difficulty level we can put it under difficult range here. Okay. Apart from that, these two are okay to like attempt. So anyway, 2 I told you it's not wise unless you have very strong content in this. Okay. Now this is the situation of 3. Now let us look at 4. 4 is relatively easy, which can be attempted. See, fourth question, part A. Elaborate the scope of anthropology and elucidate its uniqueness in the field of other social sciences. Look at this. This is like a direct 1.2 पे आपका anthropology and its relation with other social sciences, and 1.1 से scope of anthropology. See, दोनों को merge करके integrated manner में बनाया है. and here you can elaborate on the scope of anthropology, and in the second section how it is unique when it compared to other social sciences. So each social science के साथ compare करते हुए you can provide the examples as well here. Is that clear? So this is a pretty straightforward question, and you can correlate it with your previous year questions, direct question. And those who have attended the offline classes or attending the classes of anthropology here, you know we have discussed these questions in detail, right? Now going to B. See, mention the major branches of linguistic anthropology and discuss language use in social and cultural settings. See here, this question is from your once again major branches of anthropology, in which you have one of the branch as linguistic anthropology. इसमें भी सब branches है, ठीक है? You can talk about linguistic, historical linguistics, or it can be social linguistics, ठीक है? Or it can be from the, okay, let me write it as historical linguistics, or it may be social linguistic or psychological, yes right, psychological linguistics. ऐसे different branches हैं, उनके बारे में यहाँ पर डिस्कस करना है. That too, you have to discuss the language use in the social and cultural settings. So that is where you can link both 1.3, that is major branches of anthropology, and chapter 7 unit 7 of paper 1, which is about your language. ठीक है, लैंग्वेज एंड लिंग्विस्टिक्स. देखो यहाँ पर भी इंटीग्रेटेड मैनर पे क्वेश्चन बनाया है, ठीक है. हियर आल्सो 1.2 1.1 दोनों को लिंक करके क्वेश्चन बनाया है. दैट इज nowadays you can see this kind of trend very frequently in UPSC examination. Okay, so this is also on the themes of your previous year question. Then question number 3, it is a pretty straightforward question from your 9.4 section, that is chromosomal aberrations in chromosomal aberrations, that is the errors in humans. As a result of it, what kind of impact will be there on the human body and mind? So explain with suitable examples. So Nitish, are you there today for the live? We have discussed these. Okay, you attended that session, and others. Sonia, you also attended this session, where we have seen what impact does a different chromosomal aberrations like structural errors as well as and numerical errors की वजह से क्या इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है ह्यूमन बॉडी पे, क्या क्या डिसीजेस हो सकता है. यहाँ पर भी स्ट्रक्चरल एंड न्यूमेरिकल एरर्स इन different types of chromosomes. It can be in the autosomes, or it can be in the sex chromosomes. And as a result of it, what kind of diseases and what kind of impacts are there on the human body, and what kind of impact is there on the mental state of the person. Both of them we have seen. We have looked at how learning abilities are impaired by these chromosomal diseases and all of it, along with the examples such as Klinefelter syndrome, Turner syndrome, super females, and we have also seen the Craidu chart, Down syndrome, Pato syndrome, all of them we have seen, along with their frequency and the different impacts of such diseases. So the question is based on them, straightforward. You just have to rationalize your information and provide it according to the demand. Okay, so this is also, you can say, previous year question based. Now if you look at it, see these three sections in question number 4 and question number 1, all of them, they are pretty much easy or moderate, you can say, difficulty range, and they can be directly attempted because they are directly from your, like, either way they are linked with your previous year questions or direct questions. Okay, so I would suggest section 1 say you can attempt question number 1 and 4. So it means here if we are attempting only 2 questions, we have to attempt 3 questions in section B. So that is how we are going to attempt all the 5 questions, leaving 3 questions. Okay, so shall we look at it, what is there in the section B? यहाँ तक कोई doubt है everyone with me? So far it is clear, right? Now let us go to section B. Section B में देख लीजिए. See first question, that is question number 5. It is compulsory question and it has 5 parts. Each contains 10 marks and you have to write all of them. Let's look at what are these questions. Is there any surprising questions here or not? See here, first one is human adolescent growth spurt. It is from your unit 10, human growth and development. We have discussed it. Nitish, you were there also in that session, okay, where we have discussed human growth and developmental stages, particularly with respect to adolescent growth spurt. So during the times of adolescence, like 12 to 14 years, in that range, there is a spurt in the growth. There is a rapid growth, which you see in the early days. Okay, so that we have to write in a brief note. Okay, no straightforward question and previous year question themes basis पे है. Similarly, B देख लीजिए, part B, the losses and gains of erect posture. See, this is again from your like human evolution. There you have what are the implications of erect posture करके है, उसी को थोड़ा सा मॉडिफाई करके पूछा है. So here you just have to write the implications. What are the gains that have happened? What are the losses that have happened? You can talk about as a result of this erect posture and know the bends, 4 bends in your spinal cord. As a result of it, what changes have happened? Like anatomically, so like this reduction of the snout or increase in your skull cranium capacity, or it can be with respect to the face, the remodeling of the face and teeth. Okay, so similarly the pelvic bone. So वहां पर क्या gain हुआ है, क्या loss हुआ है, that we have to write it. Again, straightforward question. ठीक है, only they have used loss and gain instead of implication. That's it, nothing difficult. And it is also, you can say, you can count on these previous year questions. Okay, then see, part C, is race a valid and biologically meaningful concept? See, we have discussed racism, race and racism 9.5 of paper 1. So यहाँ पर what is the meaning of race and what are the different aspects which are there to like study this race, or what are the racial classifications that we have seen, under which we have seen the debate on the race and racism. So is race biologically meaningful concept or not? Is it valid or not? So it's a, finally we have concluded also, we have seen one declaration of UNESCO's declaration on race. Okay, so it indicated that the racism is myth, race is like biological concept. ठीक है, तो वहां पर you have to provide this answer. That's it. So it is also straightforward question and you can count on these previous year questions. ठीक है, then descent group, it is directly from your 2.5 section. 2.5, that is kinship. Under kinship, in the very recent class we have covered kinship. We have studied various types of descent groups. ठीक है, यहाँ पर डिफरेंट टाइप्स में यूनिलिनियल डिसेंट, बायलेटरल डिसेंट, बाइलिनियल एंड एम्बिलिनियल, ऐसे करके डिफरेंट टाइप्स, किंड्रेड, डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ डिसेंट ग्रुप्स हमने देखा है. यू कैन प्रोवाइड like one example for each and the definition of them. That's it. ठीक है, it is also pretty straightforward question from your kinship and you can count on your previous year questions here. Okay, then going to the next question, modes of subsistence. See, this is from your chapter number 3, which is economic organization. Okay, economic organization, where we look at, we are dealing with this, right, where we look at different types of modes of subsistence ranging from your let's say hunting and gathering, then there is fishing, then there is swedening का मतलब है shifting cultivation, then there is horticulture, even there is primitive agriculture, subsistence based primitive agriculture. इनके बारे में लिखना है, इनका थोड़ा सा characteristics and what type of tools are used and how the modes of production are being practiced here, उनके बारे में थोड़ा सा लिखना है बस. ठीक है, each of these category के बारे में some information like 20 to 30 words में, then that will come out to be like 150 words. Okay, so this is also direct question, you can depend upon your previous year questions. So look at this, the compulsory question in section A as well as compulsory question in section B, both of them are easy compared to last year. Last year there were some questions which were completely out of the box, which you could not touch. But here, this year, the compulsory questions are bit okay, they are easy, and they can be answered. Okay, so here along with your 1 and 4, you can count this fifth question. So for three questions we can easily attempt from this paper. Now let us go to question number 6. So in question number 6, part A, what is acclimatization? Discuss adaptive responses to high altitude and cold climate. If you can recall, we have discussed it. See, in our very see in our discussion, we have seen, and I have provided you the notes as well. Ecological. See, this is what we have seen: ecological anthropology and biocultural adaptations. So here we have discussed this particular topic. I have explained it. Okay. So there we have seen what are the acclimatizations and adaptations to the cold climates and high altitudes. This is what we have seen. So the same question directly, direct question. So what are the different types of acclimatizations and adaptations that have happened? So this question we have to like answer it. So the same kind of structure you can provide it, and various types of adaptations that have been taken, we can provide them here. Okay, similarly it is asking for both, like it is asking for high altitudes as well as cold climate. So after immediately after this cold climate, we have discussed high altitudes as well, adaptations to high altitudes. This is what we have seen here. Okay, and what kind of adaptations, like both biologically, physiologically and culturally, what kind of adaptations have been taken, this we have discussed in our class, right? So let us go to the next question. So pretty straightforward question, we can easily approach it, previous year questions pe aaya hai. Then question number 6, part B, however the cases of disputes related to paternity are solved, discuss the recent techniques. So this is also we have discussed in our class. You can depend upon your previous year questions answer rating as well. So here paternity testing के लिए क्या क्या different techniques are there, how they are solved. Like we have seen, like you can go with your pedigree analysis, like family tree analysis, or you can go with the DNA fingerprinting method or blood test. See, some methods are not absolute. They are relative. They do not give the absolutely whether the person is parent or not. But with some certainty, we can say the person is not a parent. उसके लिए हम ब्लड टेस्ट या पेडिग्री एनालिसिस वगैरह यूज कर सकते हैं. But if you wanted to know for sure, we go with the DNA test. Apart from this, you have immunological tests and other various serum proteins. We can test them. So from there also we can get some clarity related to paternity. ठीक है, तो इसके लिए recent जो techniques develop हुआ है उनके बारे में discuss करना है. Pretty straightforward question. So again you can depend upon your previous year questions. So this is easily answerable question. Then coming to the part 3, यहाँ पर देख लीजिए, critically evaluate Lewis Morgan's classification of family. See here he has like elementary classification of family when he was doing the research on kinship, okay, and alliance theory. Okay, it is Lewis who has given that alliance theory. See, LH Morgan, he has given the classification of family. See, this I'll provide the model answer, okay, model answer for the same, how he has classified like monogamous family. Then there are like you have, see, total altogether he has given 5 types of families. Okay, we will discuss about all these 5 types of family. Okay, and this is bit tricky or bit difficult, you can say, because specifically एक स्कॉलर का वर्क बेसिस पे क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस और क्रिटिकल एवेल्युएशन करने के लिए कह रहा है. सो दैट इज वेयर दिस बिकम्स लिटिल ट्रिकी, बट आंसरेबल क्वेश्चन है. फैमिली हम पढ़ रखा है. फैमिली यहाँ पर देखो, फैमिली एंड किनशिप, लाइक यू आर 2.4 2.5 दोनों को मर्ज करके क्वेश्चन बनाया है यहाँ पर. ओके, बिकॉज LH Morgan हैज गिवन क्लासिफिकेटरी टर्म्स विद रेस्पेक्ट टू किनशिप. ठीक है, सो दोनों को मिक्स कर सकते हो. देन क्वेश्चन नंबर 7, क्वेश्चन नंबर 7 में देख लीजिए, पार्ट ए, क्रिटिकली इवैल्यूएट डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ सोशल स्ट्रैटिफिकेशन विद सूटेबल एग्जांपल्स. दिस वी हैव डिस्कस्ड. इवन इन योर सोसाइटी, while discussing society 2.2 section, ठीक है, there we have understood what is the meaning of social stratification, what are the different types of it, and you just have to provide the examples, like where we have discussed the varna system, then the caste system, then the class system, ठीक है, class division, class system etc. तो उनको लेकर कुछ एग्जाम्पल्स देना है केस स्टडी के साथ, ये वाला क्वेश्चन को अप्रोच कर सकते हो, ठीक है, इजी क्वेश्चन एंड प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन बेस्ड से। देन बी पोर्शन देख लीजिए, डिस्कस द बायो सोशल डिटर्मिनेंट्स ऑफ फर्टिलिटी एंड फैकल्टी। 11.2 से आया है कि व्हाट आर द फैक्टर्स, सोशियो biosocial determinants are factors which determine fertility and fecundity। ये भी डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन है, सच प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस हैव आल्सो बीन फॉर्म्ड, ठीक है, so simple to answer, there is no ambiguity in here, not a tricky one, entirely from your syllabus, so and we have discussed in your class as well, ठीक है, very easy one। then part सी देख लीजिए, व्हाट इज एंथ्रोपोमेट्री, दैट इज मेजरमेंट, ठीक है, एंड डिस्कस इट रोल इन असेसिंग द न्यूट्रिशनल स्टेटस एंड स्पोर्ट्स कैपेबिलिटी ऑफ द पर्सन। so this is from your unit 2, that is the applications of anthropology, applications of anthropology, where we use different anthropometric methods in order to assess the nutritional status। so यहाँ पर हम different तरीके का देखा है, हमने क्या क्या देखा है, वेस्टिंग देखा है, वेस्टिंग, स्टंटिंग, and we have also seen that BMI index, then the stature index। so these are the different types of anthropometric methods that we use, or parameters that we use to assess the nutritional imbalances or nutritional status, and based on that we can apply this knowledge in enhancing the capability of a person for sports, so which is we call it as kinanthropometry, kinanthropometry, ठीक है, ये वाला भी देखा है हमने, राइट। सो दिस इज दैट पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन, चैप्टर नंबर 12 का। देन क्वेश्चन नंबर 8, यहाँ पर देख लीजिए क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 का, सी दिस इज ए, all of these questions are pretty straightforward and easy questions, so I would recommend you go with this 7th question, ठीक है, there is not a tricky one, you can, the content, what kind of content you are going to provide, that is going to ensure your maximization of the marks here, ठीक है, so I would recommend you go with 7th question। so far what are the questions that we have selected, 1, 4, 5 and 7, 6 is on hold, okay। then because of last वाला जो है एल मॉर्गन का जो क्लासिफिकेशन फैमिली, उस वजह से 6 होल्ड पे रखा है। 8th क्वेश्चन देख लीजिए, 8th का पार्ट ये, डिस्कस वेरियस टूल्स ऑफ डाटा कलेक्शन इन कंडक्टिंग एंथ्रोपोलॉजिकल रिसर्च। इट इज फ्रॉम योर यूनिट 8 विच इज the methods of research in anthropology। so डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन है, प्रीवियस ईयर में भी ऐसे क्वेश्चंस पूछा है, so you can say it is a repeated question from your previous year section। then part B, discuss the physiological and evolutionary theories of aging। एजिंग का theories है, डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन है, 10th यूनिट से आया है। वी हैव डिस्कस्ड वेरियस theories लाइक इंट्रासेलुलर theories, इंटरसेलुलर theories, ऐसे करके मॉडर्न theories, वेयर एंड टीयर theory, ये सारी चीजें डिस्कस किया है। नितिन, यू आर ऑल्सो प्रेजेंट इन दैट पर्टिकुलर क्लास, ठीक है। सो ओके, सो please go ahead with this question, ठीक है, these two are very much straightforward questions, again previous year question, ऐसे type of question आया है previous year में भी। then finally the last question, explain the structural analysis of kinship as proposed by Lewis-Strauss। this is also direct question, kinship में Lewis-Strauss का study करते हैं हम। see, or you can study it under kinship, or you can study it under the works like the anthropological theories, 6th यूनिट में भी पढ़ते हैं नो लेवी स्ट्रॉस के बारे में, where he has given like he has written a book of that system of consanguinity and affinity, ठीक है, उस पे एक बुक भी लिखा है इन्होंने, ठीक है। so on that basis what kind of analysis has been done by Lewis Strauss, ठीक है, so that is what we look at it here, ठीक है, yes, ठीक है। so this is again you can count on your previous year questions, ठीक है। So if you look at this, I would recommend to go with like either 8 or either 6. So with that, your like 5 questions from this paper are done. So even though there are some unconventional or specific questions in the section A, but section B, they are bit okay. So you can like with good preparation, that's the reason why I would suggest like go with all the topics, don't leave any of the topic, because nowadays UPSC what it is doing is, if you look at the overall analysis, in this overall analysis we can say the framing of the questions are integrated framing of the questions. So what is the meaning of it? It means your different sections of the anthropology, like socio-cultural anthropology, okay, then physical anthropology and applications, okay, or you can say research methodologies or tools may be like radioactive decaying and other types of relative and absolute dating methods. Similarly your eighth chapter जो है research methodologies ऐसे, then along with that primatology, इन सबको मिला के ही क्वेश्चंस पूछ रहा है, okay. So as a result of this integrated framing, you cannot skip, or you cannot like just cover only, okay, I'll cover only 10 markers here and rest of the thing I'll focus on some other section. That cannot be done nowadays because of this no mixing of the topics in framing the questions. That is one advice to you. So whenever you are preparing, try to prepare all the sections, but smart preparation is needed here. Then second thing is, here once again from 1.7 9.6 ऐसे टॉपिक से कोई क्वेश्चन ही नहीं आया है, no question at all. See once again, those sections have not been touched. No particular question has been asked from either 1.7 that is biological basis for life or 9.6, इन दोनों से कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं आया, ठीक है. Then the third thing is, see the structure remains to be same, but however the compulsory questions, question number 1 and question number 5, they are relatively easy when you are comparing with the previous year, ठीक है. Previous year से compare करेंगे, it is comparatively easy. So that is where I'm going to rate this paper on the difficulty range like moderate paper. I would have said easy but moderate because of some questions which are tricky and which are specific, like the specific contributions of Gage and Levi-Strauss and L.H. Morgan, they have been asked. Similarly, region specific, like Neolithic culture of your East, Near East, and Mesolithic culture of your European region, ऐसे specific questions पूछा है. That is where the paper's difficulty goes to moderate. But however, if you compare it with 2020 paper, it is difficulty wise bit moderate. We can expect good scoring provided if the candidates have managed the time and content. Is that all right? So this is the entire analysis of the paper. Now coming to the model answers of this paper. So with the time, so I'll be coming up with model answers of each of these questions. So there will be a complete series for that which will be put in your YouTube platform. So please stay tuned to that and you can get the inputs from there. So that's it for this particular session. Any doubts now? Gaurav, Rimisha, others? Priya, any doubts here? If no doubts, we can wind up the session. Thank you very much for tuning in. And we have paper 2 analysis at 7:30 p.m. So try to tune for that, where we will look at what is there in paper 2, what kind of questions have been formed, and what is the difficulty level of that particular paper. Okay, that's it for this particular session. Thank you very much for tuning in. See you in next session. Okay.